Chapter 12 of First Kings is after the death of King Solomon. Solomon's son Rehoboam is at a defining moment as he gets ready to be king of Israel. The people are about to pledge their allegiance to him, but they bring to him a request to lighten the forced labor they had endured under Solomon's reign. Rehoboam rightly seeks counsel from his father's old, trusted advisers, who tell him to agree to lighten the people's burden. But Rehoboam also turns to some young men who tell him otherwise. He ends up listening to the young men, perhaps because they thought like him and told him what he wanted to hear. After all, the world view is that a new king should show his strength and power. The consequences of that wrong decision was very severe. Just like that, the kingdom was divided in two. Most of Israel chose to follow Jeroboam instead. Over the years, the two kingdoms ended up on a general downward spiral of idolatry and sin. Who do we seek counsel from? Do we seek counsel from those who can give sound godly advice? Or do we seek counsel until we hear what we want to hear? In the next chapter, 1 Kings 13, we read about a prophet of God who gets fooled by an old false prophet. The young prophet was doing well, following God's instructions to leave Bethel and not turn back, to not even eat or drink there. But the old false prophet's lie about a new message from God that was contrary to the first message led him astray and to his death. Rehoboam and the prophet of God give us two examples of what not to do. That is, listening to only what we want to hear because it feeds our own self-interest, or it is the popular culture, and following nice-sounding messages that only give an appearance of godliness. Google, YouTube, social media, we can very easily find some opinion that resonates with us and reinforces our own opinions, right or wrong. That seems to be the pattern of this world now. But what is really the truth according to God's word? Good counsel and sound teaching that we can accept must be firmly set on the foundation of God's truth, especially when the worldview points the other direction. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.